Welcome to the From the 108 podcast, starring the drunk uncles of White Sox Twitter. He's a Twitter like whore, an Instagram thirst trap, and your grandma's guilty pleasure, Beef Loaf. A West Coast attitude in a decidedly Midwest body, my Sox Summer. And your host, he's sharing obscure music thoughts to give you time to hit the bathroom, Cherezy E.
Thank you, Cornsey. Welcome to the From the 108 podcast. Get ready for some baseball, beer, and bullshit. And remember the drinking rules. If Beef Loaf says allegedly, or that he made a video about that, you drink. If my Sox Summer mentions his time on the West Coast or blames his kids for something, you drink. If I fuck up the intro or make MSS appear to be dumb, you drink. And if either of the Lewis brothers requires Tommy John surgery during this show,
you
man. Drink.
Hot start, baby. Hot start.
What a fucking banger, bro.
And of course, you can make any of us drink by giving $1.08 or more. And of course, that leads me to my next question. My guy Beef Loaf, what are you drinking?
Oh, boys, man. I've already had the rigatoni tonight. I've already had the red wine. It's time to double back to the tequila. I got the G4 kicking it hard. The Blanco, I'm drinking out of the nice glass, and it's going down smooth. I got a little water caddy over here, so I keep the vocal cords in good shape. My Sox Summer, you can't neglect them, baby.
Yeah.
Just real quick, I gotta say something about the intro here. Like, part of the intro is I gotta drink if I mess up the intro. MSS is now fucking with me. He knows I gotta go to the pictures during the intro. He's adding pictures while I'm doing it, and I'm like. Where is it? Trying to do a lot right now.
I'm sorry.
No, I love it. I love it. It should be an obstacle course for me. That's
busy.
That's how I will fuck it up.
That's how we keep you sharp.
I was
your old age
busy today.
And I stumbled a little bit, so everyone drink.
I'm sorry.
My
sorry.
It's my fault.
No. Don't worry about it.
It's not your fault. I love it. What are you drinking?
Can we discuss porn still? That's good. You know what? I probably should talk about that in banter. I made myself a cocktail tonight. I'm just drinking the E.H. Taylor straight on the rocks. It's just my cocktail because I was gonna make old fashions, but then I was like, you know what? You've been eating candy like a fucking pre-diabetic asshole these last 2 days. Like you should not have more sugar. So just drink straight bourbon tonight. Do not do anything else. So that's what I'm doing.
What are you drinking tonight? I'm excited for it now. I want to see how much you're able to drink tonight. So I've got the Half Acre Pony.
Oh,
you know what's crazy?
I thought that was the Star Wars beer.
It's not. I thought it was
Cristal.
Cerveza Cristal. I wish.
Damn.
It would be perfect.
So
May the 4th is right around the corner.
It is.
It would have been great, but I cannot find it. But so the Half Acre Pony, I've never had it. And like, you know me, I'm a Pilsner guy.
Yeah.
And like, I saw a list of like best Pilsners around, and I was like, I saw it on the list, and I was like, how the fuck have I not had this? It's like right in like in our backyard.
Yeah.
And so like I was at the store today, and I was like, I got to pick this up, got to try it out. You know what? Very good.
Good. They changed the can too, because it used to be like a gray and black can with Pony in yellow. So maybe like they're like, hey, let's make it green, because then people will know that it's actually a Pilsner. Because green equals Pilsner to me for some reason. I don't know why.
It disguises it. It's like camouflage.
It's
you don't know.
Hey, I'm just going to tell you what I am. I'm just going to tell you what I am.
I don't get the logic there, but I love it. I'm a fan of it.
Don't fight me tonight. I've had enough. I've had enough fights today.
Fuck that. We're coming right at you right out of the gate.
How you doing tonight, buddy?
You know what? I'm good. And what I want to do tonight is I want to talk to you about how my Sox Summer is such an incredible fucking human being species. Okay. I want to give you 3 little bullet points about my experience with my good friend, my Sox Summer. And why I just can't, I can't wrap my mind around his fucking life and how he survives and thrives, mind you. He does so well for himself with his ridiculous. Number 1. My man stops by my house. This is like 2 weeks ago. He's dropping off some shirts or whatever. And I had just put out an old TV that we're getting rid of. Me and Mrs. Beef, we got a brand new 75-inch TV in the living room. Old TV's 55 inch, a little older, whatever. I put out there.
Yeah,
I don't
pretty
say
nice,
anything to my Sox Summer. My Sox Summer hands me the shirts. He looks. He goes, "When'd you put that TV out? You put that out this morning?" So I go, yes, I did. I put out this morning. I said, "You want it?" He goes, Yeah, I want that. Give me that. Now, mind you, I want to rewind, Treasy, because he took this like no problem. I remember 2 or 3 years ago, I was trying to give him an office chair. He needed an office chair. His chair was fucked up.
Yeah.
I had an office chair that I was getting rid of because I've been sitting on the exercise ball chair. And my man would not take my office chair for no reason other. It's in great condition. I still have it because he was worried that I put my balls all over my office chair. Like don't worry about the TV. No ball consumption of the TV.
But MSS, I got MSS back here. Like there's no way you ran your balls across that TV. There's no way.
I didn't run them across the chair either. What the fuck?
Well, I don't know about that.
I don't know.
We see the shorts you wear. We see the shorts you wear when we come over to your house.
We see your balls are covered.
My balls are
shorts
covered.
You wear. So
you look like you're going to be in a high school girls volleyball game with those shorts. You're like,
get the fuck out of here.
There's at least once a ball spilled out on a hot day. Yeah.
At least once,
hot day,
if not more.
Spilled. Kiss my ass, both of you. That's number one. My Sox Summer took the TV, no problem. I've been asking him if he sold the TV. No, now he's
right
keeping
here.
the TV. Now he's
right
pick it up if you could. If you got a second, you can pick it up and show the audience. Show the audience the TV. Like this TV was our TV in my house. He's going to probably strain his back on picking up this TV. Look, I'm worried about his injury. There you go. There's the TV. It still has the remote taped to the back of it. I love that. So that's number one. Tracy.
I also asked you if there's anything wrong with it. I was like, "Is there anything wrong with it?" You're like, "No, there's nothing wrong with it."
Before you get
like,
to number two, we got a couple drinks. Let's take a couple drinks.
All right.
So our guy John Nava, he says, "Cheers, amigos, and feliz Cinco de Mayo."
Yeah.
Cheers,
Thank you, John. Bless you.
Cheers.
And we got one from our friend Jackie. Hope you're doing better. She says,
"Oh,
the Chicago History Hot Dog Fund." Cheers, Jackie. Thank you.
Thank you, Jack.
We're getting to that.
We'll get there shortly.
What a day.
Number two on the My Sox Summer is a ridiculous human being. We're at the game on Monday night, Treasy. And My Sox Summer's running a little late. He's got the kids, T-ball, and all this stuff. And we're sitting in our normal row, and someone sits in front of us. I won't name them just yet. And they start chatting us up, chatting me and you up, and Josh Nelson and Mr. Hand or whatever. And My Sox Summer rolls in, a little late, and he grabs this person who he doesn't know, and he says, "Hey, motherfucker, you're in my seat. Get the fuck out of here." Just kidding. Awesome. Just kidding. Okay, so it's a joke, whatever. He goes and sits back a couple rows up, and we continue the conversation, a couple more innings. This gentleman leaves, right? The next night when I'm at the game, Treasy, you're not there. I asked My Sox Summer, "Do you know who that guy was that you told, 'Hey, motherfucker, get the fuck out of my seat'? And just kidding." He goes, "Yeah." And then he names a guy that we're friends with, a guy who was stood up in my wedding. And I'm like, "Absolutely not." I'm like, "That man was John Greenberg from The Athletic. You didn't know who the fuck he was, did you?"
I didn't.
And he goes, "I had no idea who that was."
No.
He picked John Greenberg up out of the seat. Now, mind you, John Greenberg's probably 5'9". My Sox Summer is 6'4" mountain of man. He picked the man up off the seat for a second to fuck with him. He shook the guy, and he told him, "Hey, motherfucker, get out of my seat." Ha, just kidding. And put him back down. And the look on the guy's face was like, "Holy shit, like what just happened
I want to know which one of
idea.
our friends you thought looked like John Greenberg. You don't have to tell us. I don't want to put anyone's name out there. But I need to know this after the show.
Initials only. The guy goes by initials only. He goes by initials only.
Yep.
Wow. Not even close.
No, they're very, very similar.
You know what it is? He's back on this thing. All white people look alike, which I agree with. I agree with that MSS.
All
but
white
anyway,
people do look alike.
Yeah. Okay, so that's number two. That's number two. Okay. Number three, we get to today, and Treasy has us on this fucking blog competition. So everyone's trying to write every day. I wrote a blog this morning about 3 years worth of fucking analysis. Not to brag that I was right, but just to talk about it a little bit or whatever. All this careful analysis, all these things I've been doing for all these years. I've been fighting the fuck out of the whole Sox Twitter audience about Andrew Vaughn. I knew he sucked fucking years ago. Now everyone's caught up, and I wrote a little blog about it. My man, My Sox Summer, wrote a blog today about him being a total fucking idiot with this stupid goddamn sausage.
Wow.
He did not know that the sausage didn't exist, even though he was at Sox Food Day. And He would have dropped it had we not harassed him, Treasy. You and I have been harassing him for weeks on this, and he's like, fine, fuck it. I'm gonna write out the blog. He writes out the blog, and oh my God, it does multiples of my blog, for one.
Yeah.
And two, he gets Chicago history Twitter account to fucking block him. He's running down the streets, like getting everyone to look at this and yell about this sausage. Saying, MSS, I'm gonna do one of these too. I don't know how you do what you do. It's wild chaos, but the fuck is it work, man?
I thought you were gonna bring up the
MSS investigates. As soon as I saw MSS investigates, I knew that like something was gonna go down with that blog. So it's usually a different type of sausage you're writing about in those, but like it's impressive that even just a smoked sausage was able to get you there.
No Violet Myers, and still made it.
No Violet Myers. No like obvious overtones of porn, and I still crushed. So that's good.
It is an adventure knowing my Sox Summer, though, and I love it.
It really is. Good friend to have, because he keeps you on your toes, baby.
You guys did a good job. Hey, Trees, before you do yours real quick, you guys did a really good job on the Aju, like going over the things that the anonymous comments and the critiques,
feedback,
which I thought was it was fun because I listened to it at the gym, and I was just laughing, and then also while I'm laughing, I'm also saying, God, some of these people are so fucking stupid. Like, you know, some of the stuff that like gets sent to us, and you're just like, come on, man. Like the guest thing, and then to put the guest list up from the last 16 months, which was like 50 fucking people. You're just like, what else are we supposed to do? Like,
I was thinking about this a second ago, MSS, because like there was the person who was like, stop with the constant swearing, and we've said fuck 45 times in the last
I know.
Yeah, we're on one tonight. It's okay.
I'm not proud of it, but I think it sounded good.
It's probably correct. It is probably correct that probably should happen. The sausage blog, though, I was going to do, and then I had waited too long, and so I was like, it's not topical anymore. And then the motherfuckers had the balls to post again, and then I was like, oh, it's fucking on now, because I knew what they were doing, and I had commented enough on it that I knew they knew that I knew, and then like they didn't do anything. And then they were like, we'll just throw this out again and try to get another 1.5 million views. And then it didn't happen because I put the response up today, which if you haven't read, please go to FromThe108.com and read my blog about the sausages. Chorizo, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing good. I'm back from vacation. I missed the whole weekend of wins.
You did?
Like, there's a sweep. I missed the whole weekend.
Yeah.
But so I'm out. We're just outside of Baltimore. My niece had she was in a musical. She was the lead in a musical. She was awesome, by the way. First of all, big props to her. She was incredible in it.
Good deal.
And so after the show, you know, she's in high school. The kids are all going to go hang out together. So
did you buy him beer?
No, I would have, but the opportunity didn't present itself.
But, okay. All right, fair.
So
fair.
Me and Quarantine, and then
Cristal,
her brother and his wife, we were like, let's go out and get a drink. And like, they're going to get a drink. I'm going to get 6 drinks, but that's not the point. So we get there, and we're out in the suburbs, right? So like everywhere's got a parking lot.
Yeah.
We roll up,
nice.
And Val's brother drives like this big ass car, man. It's like the Kia Telluride. Like it's big.
Those are big.
And so there's a spot like right up close. But you know, like how when 2 cars are too far in, you know, it's difficult to squeeze a car in.
Yeah.
He's like, no, I got this. He's like, you guys get out first. I'm gonna get in this spot. And he goes in this spot, and man, it was a tight spot, right? Like, so like the guy on the side of his passenger door, like this guy definitely had to get in through his passenger door. Oh. Like he couldn't go in the regular door. And so Quarantine's like, whoever that car is gonna be pissed, right? So we're in there, and like it was this Friday, and the draft is going, right? Like, so the Ravens pick, and then the place kind of clears out. We have a couple more drinks. We come out, and like we look at his windshield, and like something was amiss, and like the person next to him like grabbed
it's got Peyronie's disease
wiper and like bent it. Like didn't not the metal was touched. This is just like the rubber part of the windshield wiper. Guy like bent it all up, and like it was the strangest thing to do to a car. But I thought, like, there was really no damage done on either side, right? Like, and so the next day I'm thinking about it, I was like, was this the perfect punishment for his crime of being too close to the car?
No, not at all. I would have gotten I would have been tempted to get way more aggressive, especially when you're coming out of a bar. People have been drinking, and they're like, "Oh, this motherfucker! I gotta climb in my window to get in my goddamn car." Minimum, like getting keyed is the minimum thing, right? MSS, but I think like slashing the back tire, one of the back tires is probably like about even par for that shit. What do you think?
Maybe letting the air out of the tire because you don't want to ruin the car.
Why not? I'll never see this guy again.
Well,
he ruined my night. Fuck.
I don't know. It just feels like attacking another man's car.
Yeah.
Even though justified, is still kind of like it's kind of weak, and it's like I don't know. I'm not going to subscribe to that. Like as a guy that had a car that didn't want people to fuck with it, I just didn't want anything. Yeah.
Baloney says, wait till John Greenberg does that. That was
man. I literally that was when you told me that, and how high I was when you told me that. I was like, what? And you're like, yeah, no, that was John Greenberg from The Athletic, and I was like. No, it wasn't. That was
Mr. Hand also admitted he did not know who that was, but also Mr. Hand did not pick this man up and yell obscenities at him.
I didn't pick him up. I just gave him a hard time. But when he left, he must have been like, God, this guy must really like me because I was like, dude, don't be a stranger. Come back again. It was good to see you. It's been years since you've been here or something like that. And then he was just like, yeah, cool, man. See you soon. And we're like, oh shit.
All right,
yeah, that all makes sense.
Pay some bills, man.
It all makes sense now.
Hey, White Sox fans, welcome back to the Shrimp Side. We know you've been waiting for the season to start, and we're excited to have you back. Whether you're coming to a game or just passing by, make sure to stop at Lawrence's Fish and Shrimp on Canal Street. We're open 24 hours a day, ready to serve you delicious seafood that will satisfy your hunger. Whether you're craving mouth-watering shrimp, flaky fish, or even crispy frog legs, we've got you covered. So before the game, during the game, or after the game, come to Lawrence's for a meal that will hit the spot. Stop by one of our 4 locations today or visit our website at chicagoshrimp.com to place an order for pickup or delivery. Come see why Lawrence's Fish and Shrimp has been serving up the seafood you crave since 1950.
Now, I apologize to the good people at Lawrence's. I apologize to our next sponsor, too. I did not get new commercials out, and it's May, and usually I do that. Like right in the beginning of the month, the first podcast episode, I get that. But I did make a graphic for something that we need to announce tonight because this is what's going down this month in the month of May at the Canal location for our good friends, Lawrence's Fish and Shrimp. You might get 2 of us. You might get all 3 of us. We're going to do the Lawrence's and the From the 108 pregame on the patio, and that is at May 10th at 5 p.m. Now, it's 2120 Canal Street in Chicago. We are going to have prizes. We are going to have specials on food, drink. We're going to have beef loaf there. Now I have
the man, not the food.
Right. Yeah. I mean, we could.
This is actually the beef loaf right here.
That would be awesome.
How dare you?
If they make that would be great. I have 2 huge boxes that were sent to me from one of our fans, full of bobbleheads. We will be bringing a bag full of those bobbleheads. If you show up, you just grab one. You just take one. You don't have to. You don't answer a question. You don't have to do anything. You just fucking show up, have a drink, have some shrimp. Have some fish. Do whatever you want to do. Show up.
As soon as you see us,
go to the
just
game.
reach in there and grab it. That's what MSS is telling you.
Grab my bag. All right. So go there. Go to your Google Calendar. Go to your iCal. Wherever the fuck. Write down May 10th at 5 p.m. at the Canal Street location. We will be there eating, drinking, and then taking an Uber to the game or walking over to the red line. I don't know. We'll see what
I
we
want
do.
that
Probably
buy
not
one
walking
get
to the
one.
red line.
Buy one get one free pound of shrimp, man. I hope that's the deal.
Oh baby.
No, I don't think so. That ran out on Sunday.
Beef.
Great
Speaking
time.
of Lawrence's, I think you got a Lawrence's thing for us right now.
I do. I want to bring it back. It's a segment we haven't done in a little bit, and it is the Lawrence's hot sauce seat. And what I want to do is I want to bring on one of our guests that we're going to have on tonight for the further discussion. But I got to talk to him first, and that is my man, Barber Chair Scott Lewis, 79th and Halas. Barber Chairs Network. I'm not going to hold you. You have more shows than anybody I know, Scott, but thanks for coming on tonight. Appreciate you, my friend.
What's going on, y'all? Excuse me, talking like Doc Rivers, but coming off of sickness, man. This first time I'm recording in 2 weeks, so
Oh man, we're honored to have you, and I'm glad that the first thing coming out of my mouth is talking some shit to you about this comment. So this tweet, I saved this shit. I saw this back in October, and Scott's tweet says, "You can call me whatever, but I absolutely despise sports analytics." Scott, I want you to defend this take right now because to me, I love sports analytics. I think it helps all these games grow. Tell me what I got wrong here.
In the words of 10-time NBA All-Star, 2-time NBA Finals MVP Kevin Durant, I don't want to look at charts, dog. Like I just want to watch the actual game. Like, I don't want to do equations to figure out, why this player is better on the field, on the court. I don't want to do all that. My eyes tell the story, bro. So that's pretty much why I'm at with it. I think that analytics are cool for general managers and for people who actually have to scout the game. But for a fan, I'm not trying to watch that shit, man. Like that's pretty much where I'm at with it.
And the way I agree, because we were just having this argument with another friend who was talking about, oh, you need to put more stats in the baseball broadcast, and we're like, no, you do not. Like they got enough shit in there already.
My point to him, because he mentioned this in the chat, and he's like, I was like, I think the average fan doesn't give a shit about that kind of stuff, and he's like, well, they should, and I was like, I'll call my dad right now and be like, hey, motherfucker, you better learn about tunneling in baseball, or else you can't watch the White Sox. Off limits.
He's probably tunneling.
He's like, I don't want to hear about this pornography, son. That's not what I want to hear from you.
He said tunneling. That's how your grandparents got here, kids. Like, that's how they got it. Well, swimming or tunneling. We can't tell which, but regardless.
We used to just call it fucking back in the day. We didn't have to have weird names. We just said fucking. That's all we said, son.
Well, I understand what you're saying, but I take it as the thing is, to me, analytics isn't just spreadsheets. It's also the way these guys read situations and the way they interpret and play the game, in tow because of it. And so it's not just, to me, I think of it as the Moneyball bullshit, which is right. Kind of like the approach here. But I also think about it as like, there's that video of Ed Reed where they're talking about, when Belichick's talking about the double move he made on Peyton Manning to fool him into throwing that fucking interception. That's Ed Reed using here to fucking analyze the play and figure it out. So that's the way I think about it, which might not be, the way you meant here. So
yeah,
I mean, that's what he's saying.
No, I'm just saying, as for me, I just don't care for the numbers. Like if I'm having like a debate about any sport with anybody, and somebody say, "Oh, well, if you look at Joel Embiid's plus minus," I'm cutting out the conversation. Somebody tell me that this motherfucker turned the ball over 10 times. Like I don't. I see him throwing it out of bounds. Like, so as a fan, I just don't care for it. But I do think there is a place for it in the game, but just not for me. And as a fan, I don't want to add in my conversations.
Well, as a fan, I get it. But as a podcaster, is there ever like, is there a need to go like, I've watched this. I think I'm seeing this, and I want to verify it with the numbers that because I'm not going to see every game that happens. I'm seeing this now. Does this guy do this all the time?
I'm like anti-numbers on. I'm not gonna hold you. I'm not gonna lie. Like I I'll get like the actual stats, so I know how much somebody had. But we don't really be on there arguing numbers. I'll be lying to you if I said I had like a book of stats every show. I have bullet points about stuff I want to talk about, and that is it. Like I might have like points per game, but that's every now and then. I probably don't even have that 9 times out of 10. It's just, hey, Damian Lillard was ass tonight. We gonna talk about that.
And in a way, I agree with you. We do numbers on here sometimes, but we got to the point where like we need to do less numbers and we need to just do more of, hey, we watched all this. We're at all these games. Let's fucking just say what we saw.
Right, exactly.
Well, and the numbers like modify too much. Like I can't go into a discussion with people and say, well, his batting average is this, and they're like, you're stupid. Look at his WAR. Look at his B WAR. Look at his OBS. Look at his OPS. Go to his OPP and all this other shit. I'm like, I don't know. Like,
right,
okay, I'm out because like I can't figure all that out. I barely have my head wrapped around batting average. I can't get the other ones. Like I understand what WAR means. Wins above replacement. I don't know how it's calculated. I just know it's racist because somebody told me one time. But other than that, like WAR, I just don't get it. So,
I mean, yeah, it does sound very racist. Like honestly, it does sound like a racist thing. Like but it's just kind of like too. Like even if you like a plus or minus, like, oh well, the Sixers were a minus 15 with Kelly Oubre on the court. Like you're not going to convince me a team that has 5 players on the court at the same time. He's just the reason that they out here 9 points away. It doesn't make sense. So that's why I take it with a grain of salt. But also, as a fan, if I'm hearing my GM isn't using analytics, yeah, I got a problem with it. But I'm just saying, like in my conversations, I'm straight on it. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's just talk about what our eyes see. It's like in this rap battle with Kendrick Lamar and Drake, and somebody want to bring up record sales. I don't give a damn what 12-year-old girl likes Drake. He better get on the booth. That's probably it.
All right, fair enough. You defended the point properly. Teresi, I think it's time to get on to some Bears talk. We were gonna have Flo's on here too, but he said he can't make it. He's got some sore throat.
Man, when I tell you that everybody is sick right now, like I came here 3 reasons why I mess with y'all. 2, I'm trying to get some shots up before I do my show tomorrow. So I'm like, let me at least see how I sound behind a microphone.
Right.
I'm sad Flows can't make it because I did want to ask him about this tweet.
This is bullshit. The motherfucker got 7 million views.
Well, we know
tweet, and he's
we
like,
know why he can't make it. We know why he couldn't make it.
Surgery.
Yeah. He's dehydrated.
I was upset because I only have very few questions, and one of the questions was going to be to him is like, like Sydney Sweeney gets like so much love, like when they just post pictures of her, like whatever, and her tits are like half out, right? And I just want to tweet every time is like, she is available fully nude everywhere on the internet. Like, you don't have to look at her walking down a red carpet and imagine what it could be like. You can know exactly what it is. You just have to Google it. And it's like, I don't understand people going crazy.
Based on the tweet, MSS, I think Flows knows that.
Oh, I just want to make sure
that. It's a guess. It's just a guess.
I want to make sure that he knew that like he had the same feelings about these people that freak out about like the red carpet pictures that I do. You're just like, yo, you can see everything. You can see the carpet. You can see the carpet and the drapes. Why are you watching the red carpet?
You're putting too much thought in it. He's just a sick man who was bored at work. It don't get any more simple than that.
So Scott, let's get into it because we are the furthest from Bears experts, but we are all Bears fans. So I want to talk some Bears with you. And I think this draft is probably one thing that fans have been more excited about than I've seen in a long time. So the fan base, so they draft Caleb Williams. Fan base is very excited. How many weeks into the season does this fan base tear themselves apart if Jaden Daniels is playing better than Caleb?
God.
Well, that's a fair question. But I know I don't think that's a possibility. I'm be real. I watched a lot of college football this year. I like Jaden Daniels, but I don't think he's gonna be that nice. I really don't. He's in a division that, I mean, NFC East is trash, but I just don't. I'm not saying it can't happen because it's the Bears, so it could happen. But it's the first time as a Bears fan and member of the Bears media, where I feel the hype is warranted. I think he's gonna come out and he's gonna light it up from the jump. I think this kid is gonna light it up. I don't think there's gonna be no fear. I think that this is actual legitimate interest. But the Bears fans will find something to argue about. I guarantee you that. I don't know what it'll be. They'll find something. We was at odds. This is the longest 3 months ever to get to this draft.
Oh my God.
God, yes it was.
It was like Bloods and Crips when you were with Taylor or you were with Justin Fields.
Right.
Dude.
It was ridiculous.
How much Chicago media do you ingest? Like any of the talk radio or any of that stuff like out there or no?
No, I don't really listen to any of it. And I got some media homies, but I was somebody like I just really just like this gonna sound hilarious. I really just listen to my own stuff. Like I'm gonna be real.
Yeah.
Like
wait.
What Ghostface say? I listen to my own shit. Like
right.
I consider my art.
I mean, anytime you turn on the damn radio, and you have since the Bears season has been over, it's been like, who are we going to draft? Who's drafting? What are we doing? What are we doing with the quarterback? What are we doing with the quarterback? It is dominated, I would say, 66% of every fucking radio show podcast that's in this fucking town. It's just been all over the place. There is no more off season. And it's just been crazy. It makes me want to jump out of a fucking window. And then then I get happy when the Sox do something really stupid, because then they talk about the Sox for 15 minutes. So I don't have to listen to, the breakdown, pre-draft, like post-draft, fine. And everyone's happy now. They're talking about how we're going to change the world, all this. So it's different now. But man, before it was like, whoa, fuck, man. How can you talk about this so many times?
Well, at least we have stuff to talk about now. Like, next week is rookie mini camp. And then after that, it's kind of like a quiet area until actual training camp starts. So that's like end of July. They start early because they're doing the Hall of Fame game this year. Right. So, but that's what the Bears are. And if you're tired of Bears coverage now, this season is going to be a pain in the ass. It's going to be all over the place. Expectations through the roof. You got a quarterback who is already a superstar. I mean, he got drafted. The next day, he was at the press conference. I was there. That was the most people I've ever seen in Halas Hall in my life. I'm like, wow. I understand that the Bears, Halas Hall is a great facility, but they need to step it up because it was like a club let out to get in there. I'm like, have y'all seen an episode of Curb Your Enthusiasm, the chat and cut? Where I had to do a chat and cut to get my seat. So I could sit down and listen to Caleb talk. So he did that, and the next day he's courtside at Lakers Nuggets. So he's already a superstar, Yeah. Not only is he there, ABC shouts him out. So this is the first time that the Bears have a legitimate offensive star. So you got to handle that, and I think he's ready for it. So even if he's amazing, one thing that Bears fans, not just Bears, I think Chicagoans in general, even though we're the third biggest market in America, we're still a very small town where we don't like people talking about our people. You're going to have a lot of national people talking about this team because they're going to be on TV all the damn time.
Yeah.
Like they were on national TV last year 4 times, and they were a mediocre team. I think they're starting off with 5 primetime games this year. And that's not including the London game they got. Hard Knocks might be coming this summer. So you're going to get all of the coverage this year. So if you're tired of that, it's just going to be, Caleb broke a nail, and it's going to be front page news. But I think it's dope, though. I think it's cool. I think it's going to be a fun year, and I'm looking forward to it, man. I think it's going to be at least an entertaining year.
Yeah.
I love it. I have a Caleb question, but I also have a graphic to go along with it, Scott. So bear with me here. I'm pulling up a graphic. It's a power ranking from NFL.com of the number 1 overall QBs drafted, and there are 20 of them, modern era. And so for the podcast listeners, I'm going to read these for you. I'll read off the entire group. Number 1, John Elway. 2, Peyton Manning. 3, Terry Bradshaw. 4, Troy Aikman. 5, Eli Manning. 6, Jim Plunkett. 7, Andrew Luck. 8, Carson Palmer. 9, Drew Bledsoe. 10, Cam Newton. 11, Matthew Stafford. 12, Michael Vick. 13, Vinny Testaverde. 14, Steve Bartkowski. 15, Alex Smith. 16, Jeff George, MSS's guy from U of I. 17, Sam Bradford. 18, David Carr. 19, Tim Couch. And 20, Jamarcus Russell. Apologies for the long goddamn list. And I'll put the list back up in a second, Scott. But my question for you is, where does Caleb need to slide in on that list for the Bears to be Super Bowl champs? Because Treasy and I are old enough to have seen the 85 Bears, but most of the audience watching are not.
Yeah, I mean, the thing about this list that actually stood out to me is 6 Hall of Famers on this list. You got John Elway, Peyton Manning, Terry Bradshaw, Troy Aikman. Eli Manning will be one.
He will be, yeah.
What's called Matthew Stafford will be one. And then there's some other guys who have really good careers. Drew Bledsoe, real good career. Carson Palmer, Cam Newton, Michael Vick.
Vinny
Testaverde, Alex Smith. There's only a couple bums on here, like Jamarcus Russell, bum.
Yep. Tim
Couch, bum. David Carr, bum. But I'm even giving David Carr some bail because he had the worst offensive line, like maybe ever.
Yep.
Yeah, he was physically murdered his first season.
He can't get sacked like 85 times in a year that he's gonna do something. Sam Bradford had a decent career, so that's the thing I look at right here. Like, I know everybody likes the Patrick Mahomes comparison, and I get it. I will say this about Caleb. I don't know how great he'll be, but I'm not worried about bust potential at all. Because even somebody brought up, I think it was Merrill Hines brought up Johnny Football. I'm like, Johnny Football himself told you I was partying, I was doing drugs, I wasn't looking at film. Like if anything, Caleb's focused and things like that, and he's coming to a situation that not only is any rookie quarterback, number one pick coming to. I don't know how many number one picks in sports history have come into something like this. Right. Like if you stink in this, then you just bad, bro. Like it's just like Roma Bunze is your number 3 wide receiver. Like DeAndre Swift, I can throw it to DeAndre Swift. Like, yeah, run. But I'll say this: he has to, and also the bar is low because the Bears, like, we all know their offensive records are like they're like Antarctic type shit. Like, it's just like
Sid Luckman has half of them.
Bro, like we've never had a quarterback throw 30 touchdowns. Like, you know how crazy that is?
That's absolutely insane.
In today's NFL, that's insane. Like what Jordan Love did last year, he would have smashed every Bears record ever. So
it was like a regular good year by a quarterback, not nothing special.
Oh my God.
Like if Caleb goes out this year, my numbers for Caleb is 3,000 yards passing. I'll say at least 25 touchdowns. He didn't throw a lot of picks in his 2 years at USC. So I'll say, like, I'm not gonna say 5. It's the NFL, and all these corners are amazing. So I'll put him at a cap at 10 interceptions. Okay, you give me that, and he's gonna give you a couple rushing touchdowns too. That's a real good year to bounce off of. So I think the Bears need him to be, at least in the 10 to 15 range, and you can be a playoff team. I mean, this team should have been a playoff team last year. They lost 3 games that mathematically nobody in the history of the NFL has lost. They had 99% chance of winning. Right. So, and Justin, I love Justin, but if Justin almost had us there, Caleb can do the same thing. So that's why I feel like, if anything, too, Caleb embraces that. Shout out my guy Herb Howard. He asked Caleb a question on Friday, and he said, are you gonna duck the smoke? He was like, what's the point of ducking it? Like, like, I'm here, Keenan's here. Love it. Let's just go forward. I like that kind of confidence. Yeah. And so I just like everything about the kid, like as far as what he's gonna do. And I think unless he gets hurt, I think it's gonna be a really, really good year for the Bears.
That's a hell of a lot better than I thought it was gonna.
Yeah.
And the crazy thing is that the numbers you said, like, they're not crazy numbers for a quarterback. Yeah. But me as a Bears fan, hearing those numbers, I was like, oh my God.
But let's be very clear. If he smashes them, you see how Knicks fans talking right now? That's gonna be me times 100. I'm gonna get kicked out that media booth by week 6. Let him come to week 6 like 5-1. And he got like 12 touchdowns and 1 pick. I'm talking crazy.
My one question that I had for Caleb Williams was I was going to ask you, and some people have made this more clear to me since I thought of it, is like, what are the Bears going to do to protect him more than they protected like a Fields in the backfield? Like get a different line, and they obviously have upgraded the offensive weapons, right? That he has another target to throw at. I get that. But people have also told me that Fields was just not as good of an athlete as Caleb is. And so he'll be better back there and moving around and not getting sacked as much. Is that going to be the reason? Or are they going to get him some help back there too, to like free him up and give him some time to make some good passes?
I think the good thing about Caleb is like being in the LA market. I've seen Caleb the last 2 years when he was at USC too. So I've seen like a lot of Caleb. Justin's a better athlete, but Caleb is smarter with his running.
Okay.
Like Justin just runs sometimes. And Justin, a lot of the sacks was Justin's fault because sometimes Justin will get sacked because he throw the ball too damn late. That's something that Caleb don't do. So the offensive line last year wasn't bad. It was decent. It was a decent offensive line. Now, the offensive line and the defensive line is still if I had any worry about this team, it'd be like the depth. Like the offensive line is one Tevin Jenkins injury away from being plug and pull.
Scary.
Yeah. But there's a lot of offensive lines like that in NFL. But if the quarterback play is so good, it makes you go over him. You know what I'm saying? So I think with Caleb, the running game be his friend and the short pass will be his friend. So as long as they'll be able to do that, and last year he was surrounded around nothing at USC, like nothing. So that's why he had to do all them superhero plays because he's on his ass all the damn time. So at least with that, he knows that's like, and this will be a better thing. And also Ryan Poles, I believe, is going to put the best 7 that he can out there because this is his guy. And not to say he was like setting just enough for failure or anything like that, but when your job is on the line now, you're going to do as much as you can to make sure the best 7 is out there protecting them. So I think he'll be fine. As long as these guys stay healthy, and there's a lot of younger guys they signed, or like, they got Ryan Bates from Buffalo. We'll see how he does. So I mean, it's a solid line though. It's solid.
Nice. Thank you.
So Caleb gets picked. You're waiting for that number 9 pick. Things are going on.
By the way, I was in the hospital when this was going on.
Oh shit! Okay,
that's fucked up.
I was in the hospital. It was a crazy Thursday, by the way. So,
damn.
So you're watching, I assume.
I was watching my phone.
Okay.
Did you get Tommy John too, or what?
No. I got the flu 2 weeks ago, and then last week I was getting ready to head to Halas Hall to cover the draft, and then like my voice just like left, and like I was very, very hard, like very, very short of breathing, like to the point
damn. Okay.
I couldn't breathe at all, damn near. So I had to go to the emergency room. Now we all know about emergency rooms; you can be there all damn day. So I had to get my. I'm not gonna lie, I had to get my Brad Pitt on. Like I was acting a little bit. I did one of those things where it's like, like I'm waiting, but I'm like looking through the sunset, like looking, I'm finna pass out. They saw me right away. So once they did the test, and it was like, oh yeah, you're breathing fine and things like that. I was good. I was watching the draft, so I'm watching it on ESPN Plus, and the Caleb thing was like subdued. We all knew he was going to be good. But when coming up the 8th pick, I'm like, okay, are we going to be able to get Rome?
This is what I wanted to ask you about. When Michael Penix comes off as the pick.
When I tell you, I embarrassed my mother in that damn emergency room. But I heard them say Michael Penix Jr. I was like, motherfucker, yes. And I was like, we getting wrong. And she was like, you shouldn't use a voice. I'm in there chanting. I know that's an old NBA reference. I don't know if anybody's seen this. But back in 2001, there was this player, Ruben Patterson, and he called himself the Kobe Stopper. And Sean Kemp used to come to his locker like, Kobe Stopper, Kobe Stopper. I was in that hospital like, Romo Dunze. And then when I heard Roger Goodell say Romo Dunze, I lost it. I was in the hospital like. And then a doctor came in, gave me some drugs, and I was good to go. I'm like, oh, I'm high right now. We got 2 good people. I'm up that there like the Undertaker. I'm like, let's go. I'm ready to go home. But that was the good one right there, because usually peak Bears would be, let's go get a defender. You know what I'm saying? But they was like, nah, we're going to get another wide receiver. And that to me showed like this the change in the regard as far as philosophy with this team.
Well, that's the interesting thing, right? Like, so they go out and get Keenan. They have DJ Moore. What's Rome's role this year? I'm obviously further down the line, it's going to be a much more pronounced role. But like right now, what are you expecting out of him in 2024?
Wide receiver 3. And the one thing about Rome is he's already a great route runner, and he gets to learn from. If not, I think Devontae Adams is the best route runner. Like, have you ever seen that video of Ocho Cinco crying because Devontae Adams run routes so well? That's how I feel every time I see him play football. I used to hate that I liked him when he was in Green Bay. Like, he was my favorite wide receiver. So now he's in Vegas, I can actually root for him. But Keenan Allen is like number 2. So if you're learning from the route master, he gonna do that. Now I love Keenan, but Keenan like to get hurt. So I believe Rome's gonna have a lot of games where he's gonna be DJ's running buddy. So I think it's really just to learn that he's gonna be so open. Like, he's gonna be so open, because if you're the defense, I've never said this in my 30 years being a Bears fan. Who are you gonna guard? I've literally never said those words in my life.
Never needed to be said.
Never needed to be said. Ever. Like, not even on Madden have I ever had to. But literally, you got DJ on one side, Keenan on one side. Rome can play, He can play the 3. You know what I'm saying? He can do that. You got Cole Kmet.
Yeah.
Gerald Everett is a very underrated pickup. I watched a lot of Chargers football last year. He gets a lot of end zone touchdowns. And you got DeAndre Swift. You got Khalil Herbert. So really, Rome's going to be able to get the most open coverage he's ever seen probably in his career.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
You're getting me hyped up, man. I'm a little bit too excited right now. So I'm gonna stop for a second.
I usually say this: never get your hopes up with this team. But hey, man, it feels different. It feels different. That's all I'm gonna say.
I'm gonna stop for a second, get to this drink so that we can calm down. We gotta calm ourselves down. So this is from Southside Bum. He says, "Cheers, everyone. Bear down."
Cheers.
Thank you, Bum.
Cheers, Johnny.
You.
I actually have a bottle of Casamigos in the refrigerator, but if I drink that, my mouth will be on fire for the rest of the night. So I'm not gonna do that.
We won't put you through that. We'll drink for you.
I'll drink for you too. Yeah, don't worry about that.
Appreciate it.
So I think we've got the 2 picks. We're not gonna talk about the Iowa punter too much. I know my sister-in-law would love to talk about the Iowa punter, but we're gonna keep that for a minute.
Yeah, she was excited. That's someone from her alma mater going to the Bears is very exciting, even if he's just a punter. So yeah, she was pretty excited.
But Ryan Poles
got a lot of work in.
He seemingly got the exact draft that he wanted. Like it rolled out seemingly the way that he wanted it to go. But there wasn't a lot of picks in this draft. And so what's the work left to do before July? Like you've got 2 months. What does he need to go out and do to make this team a real contender?
Well, he kind of laid out his plans. He did like a little promo run. He was on Waddle and Sylvie this morning. He was on Pat McAfee yesterday. And I think he's going to get some more D linemen. There's a couple vet D linemen who could be free agents after June 1st cut date. So probably some vets that come here and add to the line, at least compete. But besides that, it's really just about, getting the rookies in the building and getting them acclimated. I mean, we already know that Caleb is working with. He's already in the playbook. Yep. So that's good. So it's really just about just getting everybody in shape for the most part and getting ready for training camp. I don't think it's really too much, at least from what we know. Like, there's nothing of nothing big over these next couple months. Just, maybe a depth signing or two.
Yeah, with regards to the overall vision, Scott, obviously you have the quarterback right now. And you've been covering Ryan Poles now for the 2 years that he's been here. I listen to the podcast. You guys go back and forth on your criticisms of certain things with him, whatever. The one person who fools Chicago sports fans the most is GMs. Sox fans were fooled the fuck by Rick Hahn. 2 years in, what are your thoughts on Ryan Poles as far as like the full body of work, and how confident are you going forward now that they do have some of these pieces in place?
I think he's done a solid job. I mean, you got to look like the mess that he inherited. Like Ryan Pace left some bullshit. Like just keep like
straight up.
Like, in the first year, like his first year here, like Justin Fields was throwing to Dante Pettis, the wrong St. Brown, and I call him the wrong St. Brown because Detroit got the right St. Brown.
Yeah.
Fucking Eddie Royal. I don't even know who the other dudes was they was throwing to. And he turned that into his trade with Carolina. I know the GM got fired, but that GM should never get a job again. Because, and I think Bryce Young will still be a good quarterback.
Yeah.
But you turned Bryce Young into DJ Moore, Caleb Williams, fucking Tyreek Stevenson, Darnell Wright. And it's the worst part. The trade ain't over. The Bears get their first next year. I mean, that's second next year. That's why they didn't care about the 4 picks this year. They got 9 picks next year. So they still got Carolina second next year. That is like maybe one of the top 5 worst trades ever. Like, so just off that. But what I love about it is he has his philosophy. He's not going to spend too much money. He's going to stay what he's going to stay with. And when he messes up, he owns up to it. The Larry Ogunjobi signing was his first signing. He fucked that up. The Chase Claypool thing, he fucked that up. But he made up for it. He went out there and I'm going to go get DJ Moore. I'm going to go get Montez Sweat. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to actually pay Montez Sweat. And no, he doesn't really just take his mistakes and act like it didn't happen. So that's why I give him credit for that. As far as faith going forward, I'm confident in him. I'm confident in him. And, you're right, GMs in Chicago, like people send people off. But I think for the job that he's inherited, he's done a good job. The jury is still out on Matt Eberflus because I don't know yet.
Right. Yeah. Well. Yeah.
I don't know yet. He really likes Eberflus.
Loves him.
But I
Put on the facial hair to be like his own evil twin. So I don't know. I don't know what he's doing.
Protected himself.
That hair ain't fooling nobody. If he still throw them soft coverages on third down next year, I don't care what fucking hair plan he got. But yeah, I think he's done a solid job. He's a cool dude. And I gotta give a shout to them because they stepped their catering up.
Yes.
In the Ryan Pace era. So shout to Ryan Pace.
I love that breakdown, Scott, especially the part about the Chase Claypool thing. To me, that was the most impressive thing. I obviously, making one of the greatest trades in the history of sports is impressive. But the fact when he made a mistake, he realized he made a mistake. He unwound the mistake when he had an opportunity to, and he never got gun shy again. He's like, I'm going to fire again. I screwed that one up. That's okay. Cool. We're moving beyond this. And too often you see a GM take a big chance, and then they get the scaredy wang, and they don't want to try it again. And he's not afraid of anything. He's willing to go.
One thing that's underrated about him is he is a real dude, and I think fans don't care about that, but players care about that. When he talking about owning mistakes. When he traded Roquan Smith, when he traded Robert Quinn, he didn't tell the locker room. And the locker room was very upset about that because those two locker room leaders. So he learned from when he got rid of Justin Fields. Before he traded Justin Fields, he let Justin Fields know ahead of time we had better offers, and we want to see you to a place that you at least have a shot when we start. He did that. He called Komet, called DJ Moore, like this is what's happening. So he lets people know ahead of time, and that will give good relationships with players for your team because they feel like they can trust dude. And so I know fans don't care about that, but that's a small thing too. As far as like he's a real guy, and people respect that.
Well, I mean, I think as Sox fans, we recognize that there's a lot of times when we've seen situations similar to right now where you've got a manager where it's like no one wants to go play for this manager. No one's knocking down the door to go play for Pedro Grafal. No one respects kind of the org that they've built. The only guy that's willing to come over here is Tommy Pham trying to save on taxes, right? Like so, like.
Which
I get it. I like that the intangible things, the little things that like you can do to build a team. But speaking of this team, and we're getting hyped about it, we're excited. But what's a reasonable expectation for the 2024 Bears? Like where do you see them? Like if I'm gonna go, man, I'm gonna put whatever I normally bet on an over/under wins or something like that. Where do you see this team being?
9 to 10 wins. I think 7 seed is mandatory because they were in that last year. So like they were in that conversation last year. They're gonna be playing the last place schedule again. So I think 9 to 10 wins is the expectation. Anything lower than that, to me, I'll be disappointed. Honestly, the only way I don't see them competing is if they got a lot of injuries. Like that's the only way I don't see them at least competing. I'm not saying they're gonna get the 7th seed, but they gotta at least be, that in the hunt. You gotta go into week 18 with a chance to clinch something, in my opinion. And I think that's a fair expectation for this fan base to have. With the way the defense has been playing with, Caleb coming in. And I think that's everybody's expectations. The Bears players have talked that way. Front office expects that. Caleb expects that. So I think that's the ground floor expectations. But the Bears in a tough division. Like very tough division. Detroit was half away from making the Super Bowl.
Yeah, no shit.
Sure were. Yeah.
Green Bay has got the youngest impressive roster in football. And I think Minnesota's gonna finish last, but they are so well coached, and they got a really good defense. And I don't think JJ McCarthy gonna start until Darnold gets hurt. But Sam Darnold is at least serviceable, and he's throwing to Justin Jefferson, and Jordan Addison. So they'll be competitive. Man. So yeah, I think that 9 to 10 wins is the expectation.
If Minnesota's winning that division, the fix is in. It's Biden and Taylor Swift all up in that shit. I mean, that is happening. JJ McCarthy is going to join. These are the trio. He is the final ring holder in the 3, and then we will know that shit is fixed. because
I mean,
Minnesota should not be winning that shit.
I don't give a shit that he's a Sox fan. I cannot see that guy. I don't want that guy to be good. Like, I want Minnesota to fail.
Hey, man,
He is a Sox fan.
I always say this.
He's
Too
outside.
chalk.
Harbaugh was talking all that shit. I'm like, all right, you draft him at 5.
Right, exactly. He didn't do that shit. Let him roll
Like,
right by.
you didn't even let him throw. Like, come on, man. Like, come on, dog.
So we got the overall expectations, but what about the offense, Scott? Last year, the Bears offense scored 360 points. That was slightly below league average. That's 18th in the league. The Bears have only scored 400 points 4 times in my lifetime. 85 Bears being top there. Is it a top 10 offense?
Oh, in the league? Ooh.
Yeah.
It's top 10 potential.
Okay.
There's a lot of good offenses in the NFL.
Yeah.
There's a lot of good offenses in the NFL. So I'm not going to say they're top 10, but they have top 10 potential. If Shane Waldron does his job well, then yeah, they can be. But, you got, of course, we all know, like everybody keep talking about, everybody made these changes, man. Patrick Mahomes got breath in his body. Y'all better kill dude, man. Like, y'all better kill dude. He out here talking shit. He on WWE Raw. Like, as long as Pat is breathing, you got to worry about Pat. You got Pat. Baltimore got a top 10 offense. I'm trying to think who else. Cincinnati gonna be back. Even looking in Detroit. Yeah, Detroit got a crazy offense. And I hate the Packers, but LaFleur is a god level game. Call player. You got the Niners. So yeah, like the Bears have potential. Mm-hmm. But I'm not ready to put a number on it yet. I'll just say this. This will be the most fun offense we've seen since those Trestman teams. Where it was Cutler,
13,
Forte, Brandon Marshall, Alshon Jeffrey. Those are the defenses wasn't shit. Yeah. But the offenses was cool, was fun. This will be the most fun offense we've seen in a decade. But I can't rank it yet because there's a lot of high-flying offenses in the NFL.
All right. So I want you to do some even more wild speculation than trying to rank this offense. Tell me where this stadium's going. Where are the Bears going to play?
Look, man, this is the thing about the stadium. First of all, Kevin Warren, you ever watch a TED Talk? That is one TED Talk talking motherfucker right there. Like he just be talking, dog. I'll just be like, look, it sounds good. Yeah. But until I actually
the bunk suit looks good. I heard you guys talking about the bunk suit. The bunk suit looks good.
The bunk suit. One thing he gotta understand, man, is Chicago ain't Minnesota, dog. Like they don't call it the Windy City because it's cold. It's because of the politics here.
Right.
You ain't just gonna come up in here with your Madden 08 graphics and think that it's just gonna get approved overnight. It's just not gonna happen. So I'm at it like this. Until I actually see construction has started, I believe they play in the Soldier Field. That's just where I'm at with it. I don't believe nothing. I still think the Arlington Heights is in play. I think they're being cheap. We're gonna have you play too. We're gonna put in $2 billion. Like the thing about the McCaskies is they're like the poorest, richest owners in the NFL. They don't have other businesses. You know what I'm saying? So, like, Stan Kroenke, they paid for SoFi themselves because he got money. The McCaskies got the Bears. That is it.
That's the money. Yeah.
Is it. So that's why I think the difference is why it's going to take longer. So I do think it'll come, but I still don't think it's going to be downtown. I still think it's going to be Arlington.
Interesting.
Okay. Wow. Yeah, that's interesting. I'm a little surprised by that. I mean, I didn't kind of believe the render. That felt like a ploy, but I wasn't even sure. Like, are they even just settled on these two sites? Like, is there anywhere else?
I did like that they put they put out the press release. They're like, we're going to talk about the stadium tomorrow, and then they're like, look at these new AI graphics for you guys. It's like I thought you had a stadium deal. You came out like the Monopoly man with your weird pockets out. Like, we need money. We need money.
Didn't show no parking. I was like,
oh, you don't talk about that, Scott. Don't talk about parking. Man,
What's the east lot even at?
I'm sure there's a million fucking ways to get there with public transportation, and everyone will take those. That's what I was told.
Allegedly.
When the White Sox decided to build on an island, they were like, "Oh no, it's fine. We'll just take boats. No, don't worry about it.
That's how everyone
We'll
will
just
get
get a
there. No
boat.
problem. No one ever drives.
We'll develop new fucking modes of transportation that don't kill fish and are easy to use. Yes.
I don't know if y'all ever watched the TV show Power, but in Power, there's this storyline where the main character, Ghost, he's like a drug dealer, and at the end he tries to go clean and becomes like lieutenant governor. And him and Lorenz Tate character, they try to start this thing called the Queen's Child Project, where he tries to like have like a monument in remembrance of his daughter who got killed because he's a drug dealer, and he's trying to go so legit. And people just not falling for it. That's what that press conference was to me. I'm like, nah, dude. Like, it was like that episode. Remember when they tore down the pit on the wire?
Yes. Yes.
That's what that was. Like, I'm not falling for it.
Scott, man, we can't thank you enough for coming on tonight. We know you're playing injured, and you still came on
awesome.
to talk Bears with us.
I appreciate it.
We really wanted to hear it, and we appreciate you coming on. Please plug your shit because we need to tell people where they can find you.
Oh man, well I appreciate y'all, man. That's why I came on, man, because I mess with y'all, man. So I definitely want to come on, talk Bears with y'all, man. But y'all can follow me at Barbchair Scott on Twitter and Instagram. Go to hmbmedia.com, and that's where you can watch I'm Not Gonna Hold You each and every Monday and Friday. It is 4 p.m. Central Time in Chicago. Well, basically, man, we talk sports, we talk culture, and it's just really just me and the homies, and we just like going live every 2-3 hours. Tomorrow will be our first show in 2 weeks. We have not done any shows since the playoffs, so you know how Dave Letterman be having them lists? We're doing top 5 stories since Scott has been on his deathbed. So doing that tomorrow. We're gonna have a full, playoff breakdown. We're gonna talk a little baseball. We're gonna be talking about this beef, between Drake and Kendrick.
Yep.
So, hey man, Kendrick up to me. Now I'm biased because I've been a West Coast resident for 10 years, and I'm rolling with America on this one. Drake ain't even from here.
That's right.
He's a Canadian motherfucker.
Canadian, you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
But we're gonna be talking about that, and I haven't recorded in 2 weeks, so I'm coming off the top rope tomorrow.
Yeah, it's fun. It's fun to jump back in the pool.
I fucking love it.
It's fun to come back.
I'm gonna be off tea and salt water, so tune in tomorrow. Who knows what I'm gonna say? I'm not gonna hold you. We usually do a local hour with all Chicago sports. It's usually on the Patreon, but tomorrow it's gonna be for the free. So pull up.
Oh, nice.
And we're gonna be all Bears, everything. So check all that out, man, on hmbmedia.com.
Nice.
Awesome. I can't wait for it. Scott, thanks again, man. Appreciate you coming on, and we'll talk to you soon.
Definitely, yo.
Thank you, Scott.
Yes, sir.
Man, he's awesome.
Yeah.
I love Scott.
Awesome.
Too bad his horny brother wasn't there, though.
Yeah. We gotta have them back together. We gotta have them back
Yeah.
together.
I mean that's the thing. The seasons don't overlap much. So there's a whole off season to have those guys on and do some Bear stuff with them. We got to find out where we could do maybe a live watch of a game with Flows, right? He's here.
Yeah,
if they're not covering. I know they cover the games, so
they do go. They have press credentials. They do go to the games. So that's right.
They should take us. We'll just do it live at the Bears.
Oh yeah,
we'll just do that.
Well, John Greenberg was about to give you a credential, but then you tried to strangle him. So make up for that by paying some bills.
For sure.
Baseball is back, White Sox fans, and we're thrilled to have you back on the South Side and excited to help you make this season even more special. Whether you're celebrating a win or lamenting a loss, there's no better way to do it than in a Mazda from Mazda of Orland Park. Driving a Mazda is a truly thrilling experience. It's just like watching Paul DeYoung hit homers at the park. And just like Paul, Mazda cars are some of the most reliable and stylish vehicles on the road. They offer an enjoyable driving experience with sleek designs and advanced technology. Mazdas are also fuel efficient, making them a practical choice for those who want to save money on gas. So why not take your car game to the next level and test drive a Mazda today? Mazda Orland Park, home of the Zoom Zoom Nation. 8910 West 159th Street, Orland Park. 708-444-3200. Zoom Zoom.
So I gotta say, I was just on vacation, rented a car, was not a Mazda.
Oh,
fuck that car. It sucked. I couldn't wait to get home, drive my Mazda, and I drove it today. It was wonderful.
There you
wonderful,
go.
Wonderful experience.
well done.
Everyone should have.
Everyone should have a Mazda.
Everyone should have
buy
two.
it from
Everyone should have two
Mazda.
Mazdas,
That's right.
and you should buy them in Orland Park.
That's
All right.
that's correct.
Awesome to have Scott on. Bears talk was fantastic. Now we got to do a little bit of White Sox talk.
Yeah.
Un poquito.
But I put that graphic up specifically because of the great White Sox Twitter war over John Sheriffin, who's called 20 games.
Pretty much.
About 30 games in, yeah.
Five wins. He hasn't called all the wins.
6
No,
wins.
no. Apple TV
That's
TV
correct.
win.
Oh,
Yeah,
FC got one of them.
The Friday night game
five.
was Apple
Okay.
TV. That's correct. Yep.
So he's only at 5. He's only said
Motherfucker.
Southside stand up 5 times during the regular season.
Too much for some people. Too much for
People
some
are
people.
not having it. People are not having it. But I wanted to ask you guys some questions. I've heard we've heard all the complaints.
Oh, yeah.
People have it, and I'm gonna take some of the more reasonable complaints from my view, and I'm gonna throw them to you guys, and you let me know how you feel about these things. So I'm gonna start with what I call the Karen Hill. Don't give me the babe in the woods routine. All right. Shriffen pitched for Dartmouth as a walk-on and had a career-ending elbow injury.
Yep.
So he knows baseball. He played baseball. He knows when we're talking about pitching, he knows what he's talking about. But he often acts like this is the first time he's ever seen a baseball game, right? Like, and some of it is probably deferring to Steve Stone for things, but like that is a complaint that I've seen is like, why does this guy act like he doesn't know anything about baseball? He obviously knows more about baseball than he's letting on when he's doing the broadcast. And Beef, I'll start with you. What do you think about that?
So he played at Dartmouth, but only the 1 year, and he got hurt, right? So
Yeah.
And now Shriffen's like in his late 30s, so that's like 20 years ago. You know, so it's like me trying to talk about basketball because I played basketball 25 years ago in high school. I don't know a goddamn thing about like modern NBA basketball. I would sound like a fucking idiot trying to apply my knowledge of basketball back then to that. So like I get it from that perspective because you often, I'm not going to name names, but you hear people, oh yeah, I coach high school ball. So that's not the same shit as the pro ball. All right, that's a way different fucking thing. So I appreciate that he is a little more deferential there and a little more like I'm apt to learn in this situation. And he's sitting next to a guy who won a Cy Young, who has been doing this every day for the last 40 years. So like leaning on him is no problem for me. So I don't have a problem with it. Like if he came in pretending like he knew everything about baseball, it'd be way worse in my personal opinion.
Yes. I agree.
Yeah.
I think what the Sox try to do with their broadcast is teach people about baseball and like get into the nuts and bolts of what baseball is. And what better person to tell you the nuts and bolts about baseball than Steve Stone? So he's definitely going to go to him and rely heavily on him because that's what you should do. You know, and he's in a peculiar situation where like I think that he's trying to do what he's been asked to do, which is you're wanting to let's bring the young kids along. John, please speak about baseball like you've never played it before so the young kids will understand it and hopefully latch on to our team that can't win a game, you know, because of the way that you're explaining.
I like that point. I do think
that's
you know, like it's a lot of times it's you're trying to speak to an audience that maybe doesn't know a lot,
Right.
And like to act like you do rather than go, I'm going to ask the question to Steve Stone that people at home might be wanting to know. Like I get that, and I appreciate that. Let's do a quick drink. We got our guy Nathan Sheba. He says Barbara Chair Scott might hate numbers as a fan, but he was as well speaking. He might as well have been speaking Klingon with respect to football. I have no clue what he means by the best seven. Pedro has never said this. Sorry for butchering that too.
Cheers. Yeah, we'll drink twice for Chirizi's.
That wasn't the intro. That wasn't the intro there.
Scott's a great guest. That's all I gotta say.
All right. The next one I call the Ted Danson. Because everything's heaven with him.
Yeah.
Well, enthusiasm is one thing, but is thinking guys like Gavin Sheets are going to be stars going a little bit too far? Is it like, because that's the thing. That's the complaint. It's not so much like, don't be enthusiastic about it. It's like, be realistic about the players on this shitty team, right? That's what a lot of people are saying. Where do you land on that? My Sox Summer, I'll go to you first.
I think, okay. Yes. Is he going too far for us fans that have been watching this team for our whole lives? Absolutely. I mean, that's just what it is. But we need to look at what his job is. And his job is to sell this team to the audience. And you can't sell the team to the audience by saying, this is a mid to low end player that's coming up to bat right now. And he's probably going to strike out or do something that's not good. So he needs to kind of hype it a little bit. But like, does he make mistakes? And like, yes, referring to some of these guys as emerging stars or a star seems to be wrong when not speaking about Luis Robert. I can understand why people would be upset by that. But I think you have to err on the side of, I'd rather say be too positive than to be even a little bit negative, especially in a season where everything is overwhelmingly negative. So like, you don't want to add on to that pile.
To that point, Beef, like, how do you thread the needle though as an announcer to be a salesman, but not a snake oil salesman?
Yeah, I mean, I think the way to do it, and I agree with MSS in the fact that, yes, it is not a good approach, in my personal opinion, to call Gavin Sheets, who we know is like a journeyman in some ways, a potential star. You could just say it looks like maybe he's fixed some things in the offseason. Maybe maybe he's improved year over year. Steve, what do you think? He's made these changes he's told us about. How do you think that's affecting his performance this year? He looks like a different hitter, a better hitter. The term star, throwing it around too loosely, is easy for everyone to pick up on that's bullshit, kind of, and so like, yeah, he should tone that back. He could still be very positive about someone like Gavin Sheets having a very nice year so far.
Yeah, and I think in terms of the play-by-play, you can get excited about the play, right?
Right.
But like, it's almost like a drunk guy at the bar, right? Like, like if you tell him something funny, and it's like, instead of just laughing, he's like, he puts his arm around you and he's like, "You're my best friend. I love you. I love you." And it's like taking that extra step. And I think that I get why people are kind of put off by that, especially because everybody's mad right now.
Yeah.
Everybody's angry at this team. Everybody's angry at the construction of this team. And so when you throw that around too much, it kind of jumps past
grate on you a little bit
in enthusiasm to like you're bullshitting me, and people don't like to be bullshit unless they're listening to our bullshit.
They also don't like the truth, but yes,
he's coming. True. He's coming into a situation which is you're replacing somebody that's a beloved guy that left on circumstances that are very upsetting to a lot of people. I think a lot of people still think that the Sox fired Jason Benetti.
I saw that on Twitter, and I was like,
that is
I was watching you fight the good fight at MSS. I was like,
whoa,
I'm going to have to
whoa.
let people believe whatever they want, because there's a lot of dumb things people believe. I'm not correcting everybody.
I was like, you can't. And then I'm like, no, actually he had a year left on his contract. He's like, it's semantics. It's like, no, it's not semantics, sir. He left to go get a different job. That's fine. It's okay. You don't have to.
If I leave my job tomorrow because my new job lets me have a second job, and I think that's the best path for me, I didn't get fired.
Yes. And your current employer, who you're under contract with, says yes, it's fine that you go and go and do that.
Out of the contract.
It's definitely not firing you. and not making you honor the commitment that you already made.
I love the Ted Danson Treasy, by the way, because everything is heaven. I love that.
I got one more in this range, and this is the My Sox Summer Pronunciation Award.
Oh,
and so John Shriffen said Vec wrong the other day.
Oh, yeah.
And my question to you guys is, do we need to hear him say marinara?
Treasy, it was a little bit inexcusable to like do that. He's got to limit those types of mistakes, right? The things that are like if he mispronounced like Gene Honda's name or something, like some shit that is the fabric of Sox fandom, you kind of can't screw up, and that's a bad mistake in my opinion. So like I've heard, we all listen to the Sox Machine podcast where James Fegan talked about it. The guy's a tireless worker, and so that's fine. You're gonna make some mistakes, but you got to get that tightened up. You got to correct that shit.
Does he got to have Night Train in the booth?
I mean,
it wouldn't hurt.
Is this the only way to fix it? Is this the only way to fix it?
It wouldn't hurt.
I think you should have him in there just because. I don't think you even need for an apology purposes or anything. You just bring him in there because he's a great storyteller, and he'd be great to have on in the broadcast booth. It would just be good. I mean, shit, him or his dad. You get both of them in there. Holy fuck. I mean, the problem is you put both those guys in the booth. Ain't nobody watching the Sox game anymore. They're going to Joliet to go watch the Slam. I mean, it's just like they're like, we're done. We're gonna go down here and go have some fun.
Wait, there's other teams around here that are fun?
A little depressing. So you got to be very careful with how much information you give people there, because a lot of people that are still tuning in probably think this is the only game in town. This is the only baseball I can watch. I have to stay here. I hate the Cubs. I can't watch them, so I'm just going to watch this. And they're like, oh, shit, wait a minute. There's minor league teams and independent league teams to watch too? Wait, no. Jared said it in here too, and on your last point, Treasy, he is very optimistic, and he's coming in optimistic. It's like, wow. It's a young MC thing, obviously. So he's coming in to something, and he's overwhelmingly positive, and he is expressing that he's excited, and is a guy that like gets way too friendly and way too happy and way too whatever when he's excited. I know where John's coming from in this. So like he's selling it. He's like doing his thing, and yeah. Wait, and sometimes
we gotta talk about that comment.
What?
We gotta pull that comment back.
Roll that.
Oh, okay.
Optimistic, innocent guy walking into prison. Who is optimistic walking into prison?
He's like, hey man, I did the deed. Now I got to do the time. It's not going to be that bad. It can be totally okay. And then you're getting beat with like,
I don't know about that. I'm very weirded out by that comment. But I'm going to move on. So this one doesn't have a name to it. Yeah. It could be something about Skittles, but we're going to go. So
Skittles.
So
Taste the Rainbow.
Benetti, he had Bill Walton in the booth. And that was a big thing. He had called games with him. He had him in the booth. It was crazy. People loved it. People generally loved it.
Some people.
Not people that were also in the booth at the same time. I'm not naming names. But John Shriffen called Slam Ball with Marshawn Lynch.
Oh, wow.
Oh, baby.
When they're on the West Coast, maybe Seattle, maybe Oakland, wherever Marshawn is at the time, they get Marshawn in the booth with John for a game. Man. Do the negative opinions change at all? Does this ramp him up at all if that happens? Because that would be insane.
Is Steve Stone in the booth with him while this is happening?
Absolutely not.
I need him in there. I need Steve Stone in there to explain.
No, because no one else was in there with the Walton thing. It wasn't like another guy in there. Like,
yeah, but listen, okay.
No, I'm talking 9 innings of Marshawn Lynch. Not
Marshawn and John together, baby. Just killing.
They're just I want it to happen just because I think it would be fun and it's a good experiment just to see. And I would like to see John explain a lot of the intricacies of baseball to Marshawn Lynch. I think that would be fun because I maybe Marshawn Lynch is a big baseball guy and I just don't know, but I'm gonna assume he doesn't know about baseball and he will ask a lot of questions and I think it would be funny. Entertaining.
Treasy, I think it would be great, but I don't really think it's going to change a substantial amount of opinions, because I think right now we're at the point where materially, and I won't say everybody, but materially the opinions, especially the negative opinions, are really more like, I love the other guy.
Yeah.
And so fuck the new guy, kind of. Like, and
That's
people are, look, if we're people are
I wanted to
biased
bring
about
that
what they're biased about. Like, if someone asks my opinion about you guys, I'm of course biased for you guys, right? We're really good friends. I'm going to be biased in your favor. People probably should not believe my opinion, you versus some other person that we don't know that well.
Right.
I'm going to side with you very strongly. And if you're giving a similar type opinion, let's say on a 50,000 watt radio station, that's a fair opinion for you to give. But the regular audience who's trying to interpret should not believe you. If you're friends with that other person and it's like a compare, they shouldn't believe you. They should not listen to your fucking opinion. No offense to you.
Yeah.
I love your opinion and other stuff, but when it's your friend, it's way different. It's way different. And there's a lot of that right now is like, I love the other guy, so I'm not giving this guy a chance. And that's your prerogative, but it's also not fair.
circle back in your memory. Hawk leaves.
Yeah.
We get Jason Benetti. This is the same situation.
Same shit.
Pretty much.
Like a lot of people who are like ardent Benetti supporters right now, when that first happened, they're like, "Who the fuck is this nerd? What is this bullshit? I don't like any of this. This is stupid. This guy's he's trying to be witty and he's not." And it's like, yeah, it's his first time in the booth doing this, and like it's not meshing just perfectly yet. Like, so it's interesting to see the same thing happening again.
Right.
It's like we love the last guy, and now we got the new guy, and then fuck the new guy.
And to give like a little bit of like history lesson here. Benetti was part-time in 2016 when the rebuild started, right? And then 2017 is when he takes over full. Optimism for the White Sox at 2017 is at fucking a world, like my lifetime
Huge.
right now high, right?
Huge,
I mean, it was big. And so like you're learning these things, and you got a new guy and he's telling you these things. He's like, you know what, you got these guys down in the farm system, you know, that are going to be good. Unfortunately, you know, like he's like, you know, Micker Adolfo. Oh, you got to wait till this guy comes up. Wait till Lenny Sosa comes up. You know, wait till these guys come through. And then Sheriffin is here for all the disappointment that was like hyped in 2017. Loaf, you said it really good in the Au Jus. You said, why does the guy, one of the normie media guys, why does he want to give an endless leash to like an Oscar Colas, a Lenny Sosa, but yet 30 games in is like, this announcer sucks balls and I don't want to fucking see him ever again.
Yeah.
Like, he's horrible. You know, and like
your opinion's your opinion, but if people are trying to like figure it out for themselves, you know to ignore that immediately based on that opinion, right?
I'm questioning the Sox on a lot of decisions, okay? But they picked, you need to remember this, they picked the guy that you loved before, okay? So they picked this guy for a certain reason, and I don't know what that exact reason is, but they picked Benetti, okay? The same guy that picked Benetti picked Sheriffin. So there's probably something there. And what we noticed when the Sox won and were doing things good, everyone was like, hey, this isn't so bad. Okay, this part I didn't really like, but the majority of it I like when it's good. Yes, I'm going to tell you right now, everything fucking sucks when you're losing. It all sucks. It doesn't matter. And shitty things can be really great when you're winning. You bring up
a great point of like,
thank you.
They saw something in Sheriffin that made them choose him over other, and the other people that they had, and we've heard through different channels who some of the other people were. They have all called a lot of professional games.
Yeah,
they've all done that a lot, so they've got the reps. They could come in and be smooth, or you take a guy. And trust me, these guys wanted the job. It's not like, oh, they only could get Sheriffin. It's possible they took a guy where they were like, there's a lot of upside on this guy. This guy can be a great announcer, rather than go, we can get someone who's just going to come in here and just be smooth delivery, talking head guy, and that's what we want.
It sounds a lot like Jason. they're nothing alike stylistically, but it sounds like the same idea with the potential, Treasy, where like when Jason came in, and you mentioned there were people who ragged on him or style or whatever, but you could see it in there that there's like, there's something nice here, and we all like Jason, we all enjoyed his call and everything, and so like
he's a fabulous human.
You get it, you get the idea, the thought process.
When Greenberg asked us about the announcer stuff when he was sitting in the section with us, I said, I wish I could take these two, and I'm always going to go back to Bill and Ted, smash them together like Station, and make them into one announcer, because Benetti is incredible in the downtimes during a game.
Yeah.
Like you always, like, he could take, like, you could have a rain delay of 45 minutes. You didn't even need to go to the rain delay theater. You could just have Benetti talk bullshit. Like, he could just do it. He's
you have to watch Moesha.
But I think where Benetti was weaker was that, great. Oh, baby. The bots are back.
I saw it. Yeah.
Yes. Frick
Sorry
yeah.
for bothering you.
Sorry for bothering you in the middle of your show. But so I got sidetracked. But where Benetti was a little bit weaker,
Fucking Facebook,
was in the big moments in a game, right? And like in the biggest moments of his career, Benetti shined, right? Like, I mean, like the Tim Anderson home run call, it is fantastic,
right?
But like a regular home run call on a regular night didn't get you like that excited, right? Like a walk-off homer, even in a kind of meaningless game, didn't get you that excited. Triffin has that. That is already obvious that he's good at that.
Yep.
So like I think that's why I was like the combination of the two would be great.
Yeah.
But maybe the harder thing, at least in the White Sox eyes, is having that great like big moment call. And they feel like they could refine all the middle of the game stuff. That's like, talk through this, and you've got Steve Stone with you, so you can make it work. So maybe that is what they're seeing. Maybe that's what they're looking for.
I don't think you're wrong. I agree with you. I think that's something, and maybe he like from the brief moment that I have hung out with John. John is a very nice guy. He's very engaging in watching his work that he's done before. He tells stories very well, but one of the things about a storyteller is you need to learn about what you're going to talk about before you do it. And he hasn't been here long enough to garner enough information to put it out there. Yes, he's going to make the mistakes. Yes, he's going to pronounce things wrong. Yes, he's going to refer to Kevin Sheets as a star. He hasn't made that mistake with Andrew Vaughn yet, so that's good. So
thank Christ.
we're okay, but it's just like, hey, I'm willing to give this guy a chance and let him go and just let him cook. And I know that's because everyone knows that I'm attached firmly at the lips to Brooks Boyer's ball sack, and everyone's like, oh, of course you're not going to talk ill of this guy. No, I would. But he hasn't done anything that is like turned me off to the point where I'm like, I can't stand this. And anyone that says that, I have to question them, and I have to question their motives also of why you're doing that. Right. So like, as much as you like, this is one of the funnier parts of this whole damn. Yes, that is Jackie Trehone put up on there is my chief complaint for the broadcast has been the lack of St. Xavier commercials. Is Colleen dead or alive? Listen,
we don't.
MSS investigates.
Investigate that shit.
I have also not seen enough games to confirm that. Like, I have not seen a Colleen commercial yet. So like, it is weird. Maybe she's been retired. Maybe she's out to pasture right now. We don't know, but maybe they'll bring her back. But no, I just like one of the funnier things, and I'm sorry, I'm going off a little bit, but like of this whole conversation is I'll say something on the Twitter machine. Like when I made fun of Benetti's thank you Cubs. I'm like, you guys think that Benetti's thank you Cubs, you think this new guy's cringeworthy, and Benetti's call thank you Cubs was fine? Was that was great? And you think, like, come on, I mean, both these, it's not good, right? It wasn't a good thing. It was corny, and it was what it was, right? But I didn't go, well, that guy sucks, and I don't want to ever listen to him again. I was just like, I don't like it. But people respond to me and are like, well, you can't tell me that. You can't say that. This is free speech, motherfucker. And I want to tell these people and shake them by the neck and say, that applies to me also. I can say what I want to say. You can respond how you want to respond. It is totally okay to have a discourse. It's totally okay to not agree with each other. And we can be 1,000,000% fucking civil to each other and get smashed as fuck on May 11th at the Bums Tailgate. So you don't have to agree with me to get drunk with me. I'm just putting that out there, and it doesn't make me a bad person, and I don't think you're a bad person, but like, just remember, I can say what I want to say too, and you can do also. So
I'm going to cut you off. We got a drink from Jackie Treehorn. He says, save Colleen. Cheers, Jack.
I love that.
I'll reach out to her. I'll see what's going on. Follow her on Twitter.
Have a few more drinks and then get in her DMs.
She's on Twitch. I'm not doing that, my son.
She's enrolled at PragerU. The fuck out of here.
Any other thoughts on this topic, or can we?
I'm good.
All right, let's get to.
I think I put it all out there.
And GFY's Beef. I'm going to start with you. Thank you, or GFY.
I mean, a huge thank you to Scott Lewis. He's come on the Yaju. He did Festivus with us. He was playing hurt today. He obviously delivered again. Go check him out on every single channel. He's great anytime you turn him on about any fucking topic. Like anything, I'll tune in to. I'm not going to hold you randomly. I'll just check out. I won't even know what the fuck they're talking about, and I'll be into it immediately. That's how goddamn engaging this man is. And so check him out on all his channels. 79th Halas podcast is great. That's probably my favorite Bears podcast currently. I've favored them ahead of my guys at Barstool Chicago. They were talking a little less Bears for a while, so these guys have jumped ahead. That's a great podcast.
Oh.
MSS. Thank you, or GFY.
I want to give a thank you to everyone that read my blog today about the Chicago history sausage ruse. If you have not gone over there, please go to our website, FromThe108.com. Go read my blog about the sausage. It caused so much of a stir that your boy and the 108 got blocked from them. Now, as you can see, this is from March 28th, 2024, when they posted the picture of the sausage. It had 1.2 million views. They deleted that tweet and deleted the other tweet. I don't know what that means exactly. Instead of just owning up to it and saying, "Oh yeah, I guess we just conned you into liking this." But so yeah, go see what they're hiding over there at Chicago history. Go check them out. But yeah, go fuck yourself, Chicago history. You don't need to block me. It was all supposed to be fun, and you took it to a different level. So now I'm really concerned now, like, what the fuck is actually going on over there? We need an investigation. Chirizi.
I got a GFY too. I got a GFY too.
Oh,
I just traveled. So this is to every person who doesn't know how to get off a plane.
Oh.
Wow, huge.
As fucked up as society is nowadays, as all the things that are going wrong, getting off a plane is absolutely society at its weakest. It's just, there's at least 10 people that you watch in front of you that you're like, are you aware of what we're doing right now? Do you have a fucking clue what is happening and where we're all going? Because there's a very direct path out of this motherfucker. It's not on fire. There's not exits opening all from the sides. Just walk straight out. What the fuck? It is infuriating every time I'm on a plane. It is awful. But
that's bad.
Who gives a fuck?
Jump up and run as fast as possible to the front of the plane. You know, I hate those people.
Shove everyone down.
Them.
Fun show tonight, fellas. We will see all of you very soon. Not this weekend. They're out of town, but we'll see you the next.
We'll see you next, everyone. See you next Friday.
Oh, yeah. May 10th. We will see
May 10th. Let's get everyone come over to Canal Street over there at the Lawrence's, and let's get fucked up and responsibly and crush some shrimp. Sound good?
Lawrence's.
Well, sound good. At the Lawrence's on Canal Street.